Mr. Isaac, how are you, sir?
It's Ryan, I'm well. Yourself?
Doing good, doing good. We had some chill music to start the show. I'm still getting used to
Yeah, it
that
was
little
nice.
like
I like it.
music. Yeah, that little music thing that they added into Restream. It works, but there's no fade out. It's really annoying. So
Yeah, it's just a hard cut.
yeah, it's really that boggles my mind. But anyway, we're not here to talk about weird chill music things on Restream. We're here to talk about board games.
We are
And we
indeed.
have a special guest with us today, Monica Rasso. How are you, Monica? Oh, I have you
Great.
muted.
Now
Sorry. Okay.
we're good.
Monica, how are
My
you?
fiance is wondering if he can also get that feature for use around the house sometimes.
Just the mute button. I just need
Just
the
the
Yeah.
mute
mute
button.
button.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm
Monica,
doing great.
yeah. Monica, so we just got done seeing you just how long was that, a week ago?
A week ago.
It was a
A
week ago.
week
Yeah, it hasn't
ago?
been a week ago that TantrumCon ended. So the
Yeah,
last day
yeah.
was the 28th.
Yep, yeah. A week
So
and a day.
yes.
So man, it
Crazy.
yeah, I know. It feels like it's been a lifetime ago, but it also like it feels like we just got back. So
Yeah, everybody's trying to catch up, and yeah, we look forward to the event every year. We plan, and then we all need a couple days to crash. And some of the team members jump right back into work,
yeah,
just like attendees have to do from
yeah.
conventions. So
No doubt.
yeah,
That's cool. So we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. We're going to be talking about Monica's connection to TantrumCon. We're going to be talking about cruising and board games. We're going to talk about GAMA. We're going to talk about a lot of different things on the show. But why don't you start us off, Isaac, with the first question, or
Yeah,
introductory question?
So our first question, as we were talking about all things board game conventions, is what is your essential do not forget item to pack when you go to a board game convention?
deodorant. That's always a good one because you're hugging all your friends.
You're not wrong.
So would it be game related? Like I think you need a good bag. Like I prefer the board game bags that have some sort of straps on them,
Yeah,
whether it's boardgames.com, which is now All Play, like their big bags. Because if you have to carry it around this way all day, like you feel like you should have been pumping at the gym. Like it's got to go on your back. So that's my real essential thing, second to deodorant.
Deodorant and then a bag. Yeah.
That's right.
I like the bags. I've got one that fits on my back, but I feel like I'm conscious of bumping into everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, if I swing too hard,
True.
yeah.
You have to walk straight only.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to walk straight ahead and I'm not going to move. And then somebody's going to have to spot me when I walk backwards.
Yeah. Especially being so tall, both of us are very aware of others and our somewhat intimidating presence when we're next to shorter people.
Absolutely. So, yeah, actually, right now, you're the short one on the podcast, Isaac.
I know I'm 6 foot tall and I'm the short one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 5'10" and a half.
Really? Okay. Well,
I would say 5'11", just to
I mean, I'm probably 5'11" with age.
If you're being honest with yourself.
Let's be honest. Gravity takes us all that direction.
There we go. So I have 3 essentials. If I'm going to a convention, I got 3 essentials. First of all, I've got to have some kind of container to have water in, because otherwise, and I've been bringing this one lately, it says my name on it, because if I lose it, there's not 100 Ryans. There's like 5,
Con in there.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So at least I will probably be able to get something back with my name on it.
Yeah.
So, and then card games, small card games, and then one thing from my shelf of despair, I'm calling it. This is the game shelf where I have something that I wish I had played a long time ago, but I haven't. And I'm hoping somebody knows it. So we'll talk about that later in the show.
So it's not even opportunity. It's just like opportunity is past. It's now.
Yeah, opportunity is past. It's like I've got funny story. One of my first conventions, I bought a what is it? Dungeon Pets. Bought Dungeon Pets.
Okay.
I thought it would be a cool game for my daughters who were younger at the time.
Sure.
I was like, Dungeon Pets, you're cleaning up like dragon poop. That's pretty cool. I didn't know it was like a 2.5 hour Euro. I was like,
Ooh.
oh. So I bought it, and I still have never played it. So
Yeah, that's despair.
yeah,
What
that's
about
real bad.
Flamecraft? Would that be it's still dragon themed and it's adorable?
Good one, yeah.
Substitute for the dragon pets somewhat fail.
That's the one that I should have bought. Yeah, that's the better choice. So,
Is it a good game though?
which one? Flamecraft?
Dragon Pets.
Dragon Pets? I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's like, yeah, I've never played
I
it,
haven't
but
played either.
it's like worker placement. You're managing your pets and managing the pens and stuff. I've heard it's really fun. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
I was gonna go water bottle. That was definitely high on my list. So I got my fully stickered, including my Bob sticker on there. Can't forget that
cool.
one. And that's like key. I can tell when I haven't been drinking enough water, because I drink a ton when I'm at work, a fair amount when I'm home, and a poor amount at conventions. But there were tons of water stations, which I really appreciated. But the other thing for me, I always travel with my massage gun. Always got to make sure I've got that.
Smart.
So end of the night, hitting the calves, hitting the upper traps, as we're stuck like this all day playing games. It's a great little kind of end of the day thing. And TantrumCon, different than some of their conventions where you're not putting as many miles on your feet. But for those ones where we're walking all over, especially like a Gen Con, that was essential at the end of the day.
It's a good idea. Good idea.
There you go.
I try to find a hot tub if possible, like in the hotels with the hot tubs, to substitute for that machine, that massage machine type of thing.
Yep, gotta have it. Bob and
Brad massage gun.
Not familiar, but there's a lot of good ones out there. Big Hypervolt fan myself, and
I actually bought my wife a massage gun after Origins. So the Christmas after Origins 2 years ago, bought Aaron a massage gun because of the one you had. So,
yep, it's good, helpful stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk about TantrumCon. Monica, tell us about how you got involved with TantrumCon. You've been in it since the early days, and so tell us about how you got wrapped up into it.
Well, I guess if we even go before that, I started volunteering at Dice Tower Con for the first Dice Tower. So my board game group, one of the guys there was one of the first owners of Dice Tower Con. And so I started volunteering in the library and just learning about conventions that way. A friend of mine ran Nexus Game Fair up in Wisconsin. And that's where I became his assistant manager and learned how to do hotel contracts and that sort of thing.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so that was kind of my background building up to meeting the Tantrum House guys. We were at Mega Moose Con, played a game with the designer, and he just wiped us across the board. And we're just like, dude, give us a shot. So all of us, we're in this horrible state together. And somehow we just started talking, and they ended up saying that they had a game day at the local library in Greenville that had 150 people. And I was like, that sounds like a good number. So I told them a little bit about my background and how I had been running this convention with my friend back then up in Wisconsin, and said, I think I could do this and have a convention, like a real convention, and manage it if you guys would be willing to try it. And so went and presented to their group and said, this is what I think we could do. This is how many people I think we could get and where we could grow. And we all took a chance on it. So started out with 4 families that own TantrumCon, and now we are at 5, with Jonah and Chantel joining the group. So 5 owner families right now of TantrumCon. So I serve as general manager, and each staff member has their own role. According to what everybody's best at.
Okay.
And you can tell that it's structured in that way because it runs so freaking smoothly. I know that there's probably chaos in the background, but to the attendees, to the people who go, it just runs really well. It's really good, and everything's being done. And if there's a problem, you guys take care of it immediately. It's awesome. So
this is the 7th year. So everybody, we've switched a little bit here and there for roles, but I do really try to work with each person. And every year we say, what did you think about what you did this year? Is there something else you would like to do at the convention? Is there another area you would like to grow? And, or how can you just make your area better? And what's good is every single person loves their area and what they're passionate about. And then new events pop up because people get new passions. So Kevin did a magic show this year. That was his talent, but he had just never brought it to TantrumCon.
He's shown my kids some magic tricks over the years. It's been really awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we just try to work with everybody's strength, and because we've done it for this many years, it's not that chaotic, because we have done those roles and we know how to communicate together. So yeah, if it looks smooth, it probably was. The only bumps were, hotel type of issues that were beyond our control. But when somebody else doesn't have it, another team member steps up. And we've got backup plans on backup plans, especially when you're a convention that happened, during COVID. Like we had to get through those years. We had to have backup plans of what if this person's not healthy, or what if something happens in this person's family. So we planned for all of those things, and I'm glad that you guys could see that, and it's a compliment to how well the team works together.
Absolutely. We part of this question is how many years have we been going to TantrumCon? This was my fourth in-person TantrumCon. Our first one was actually in 2019. You guys were in South Carolina at the time.
Yeah.
And it was a quick drive. It's a little longer of a drive now, but you guys are in a much bigger space. And I think it's more accessible to more people. But it's we love TantrumCon. It's been cool to see it evolve. I think when we were going in 2019, I think there were 400 people or so. Does that sound right?
Yeah, and Spartanburg at the time. Yeah, we love that hotel. We've just grown out of everything. Every hotel we leave, people are like, "No, stay."
It was a good space, but you could tell you could tell this was going to become bigger and bigger, So
I appreciate that.
But it's what I really we'll get into what we like about TantrumCon in a minute. But what about you, Isaac?
This is my second. The effect from last year to this year, it's like the earth magnets, those real strong earth magnets. When a couple of them get near other people, they start pulling in other magnets. And it feels like that's the ball that's rolling with this convention, is that people are inviting people who invite people who are like, oh, my friend so-and-so goes. Well, now I know 5 people that are going. Well, I know 10. With 400, that's harder. Right. And it's easy if you're driving. It's harder. I fly in from Ohio, and so it's only a couple hour flight, but there's still the flight expense, there's still the travel, there's still that end. But to me, it was well worth the trip. And we'll talk about the whys, like you said, in a minute. But huge difference from this year to last year. So absolutely very enjoyable year. So.
Oh, awesome.
So what is your favorite part of this convention? Monica, we'll start with you with all of our questions going around the screen here. So what's your favorite part? I think
my favorite part, being somewhat cheesy, is what we had imagined in the beginning is what we're building. Some of the things that we had wanted to say was we want to stick to just board games. We branch off and do a few RPGs, and we have, but we have some card games this year, but we just really wanted to keep it board games. I feel like, and so did the team, there's so many conventions that'll just throw anything in. We're going to do an anime contest, and we're going to do this and this, and it just becomes these almost separate areas of conventions where not everybody gathers together. So, our exhibitors are board game based or gaming based. Even my earrings are little dice. That was one of our
super cool.
One of our vendors there, but just we just want it really focused on board games. We did bring in some Crokinole, which is a board and has a game on it. So
that whole pathway going out to the parking garage, it was like Crokinole all the way down. It was so funny because we saw one set of
Couple.
people.
Yeah.
They were playing for, what was it, like 4 to 5 hours?
Right. We left
Oh,
for a
wow.
while.
We
We came back, they were still playing.
Yes. And
Holy
it was like, they're dedicated, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our image, bringing in board gaming, keeping it family friendly.
Right.
You know, and now we're trying to get more of a wow factor of when I enter this space, how do I feel? Like we invented tournameals. Anybody can use that word. I'd be glad to share it with them. And we can say we're the original creators of tournameals, where you have a tournament plus a meal, and then we have sponsors that, you know, make that happen.
Yeah.
So we're super, super proud of those. Yeah, just that's, I think, the biggest thing is that TantrumCon is what we envisioned, and we're so happy with that.
I think my favorite part of this convention is not having a super strict schedule.
Right.
I think that there's plenty of things, and we'll get into some of the things that you guys do differently at this convention, but I feel like you can either book things and be there and do those things on schedule, or you can just pick up a game and play. And I feel like it gives you the flexibility to do that. You're never going to be just wandering around aimlessly for an hour and not sure what to do, because there's always something to do. And so you don't have to keep a strict schedule to have fun. And I like that about this convention.
Good.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. And for me, especially when we talk about like the big three, the PAX Origins, Gen Con experiences that are packed full of interviews and time crunches and media meetings and so much content that we're doing. This one was just, hey, do you want to play some games? And hey, do you want to go get food? And then when we come back, let's play some games. And you know, it still never feels, even at that amount of time, it still is like, oh, I wanted to play X, Y, and Z. We didn't get to those, but yeah, the ability to just sit down, like Ryan said, and pick up a game and play it casually, planned, and everything in between was perfect. And a breath of fresh air from some of these other conventions that really seem to be more about the consumer experience than the gaming experience.
Yeah, and that's what I'm feeling like a lot of conventions are going towards. Like, I have to get to that exhibitor hall. I have to buy this latest whatever thing it is. And Bezier did announce a new game at this convention, Sandbag. They just called it their top secret game. So, you know, we didn't expect that. We didn't ask for those sort of things. We don't have to be a convention that brings the latest and greatest. Do we love that they did that? Absolutely. They've been a great sponsor for us for many years. So we totally welcome that. But that's hopefully, like you said, not why people are going. Gen Con's the race to get to that special game, standing in long lines. And we want you to have your family vacation here. There's families that bring their entire family, and they're like, this is our annual vacation. And they're now bringing cousins and aunts and uncles and, like, you know, all these different people. And that's what we envision, where you can play games, you can relax, but we want a little bit of excitement there too.
and to a person who is watching this or listening to this or later, the idea, they may be like, oh, hold it, a convention where it's like a vacation, that seems crazy. But no, that's literally so my wife was sick last year when we came to TantrumCon. My wife was sick, and our oldest had to work. She couldn't get off of work. So I traveled up there with Bob Kroll, and had Josiah and Kendall with me, my youngest two, and we had the best time. We had such a good time.
Good.
And it was family moments, and it was fun. And then the kids went off and did their own thing. Josiah came home with a first place trophy for a painting in his division. Like, it was just so much fun for all three of us, and it was rejuvenating, you know? So, yeah.
That's awesome to hear. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what's our next question, Isaac? We got Hank in here.
You talked about some of the features. So, Monica, what was different? We can talk about it from the experience end, but what was focused differences that TantrumCon was trying to do here in 2024?
This year, we're just trying to enhance. So if I take each area, say the Tournamills area, Katie bought lights to change the mood of those rooms. And we wanted the registration area to be super welcoming and super smooth. Like, you didn't wait in a line. I bet. Yeah, we had a separate area for volunteers, VIP, or I'm sorry, special guests. Yeah, so we had a special area over there, and then we, just tried to make sure that we were well staffed. So just in that tournament area, we did that. We increased the number of tournaments. We increased the number of learn to plays and the number of tables there. We went from, I believe, 2 VIP gaming tables to 4, so that people could get some time in with those special guests that we're bringing in, and you guys, like with media guests too. You guys are special guests for us. Like we value you coming in there and spreading the news about TantrumCon. That's super important to us. With Tantrum House being a media group, like they know how they would love to feel at a convention. So we want you to feel that.
It means a lot because it's exciting to get there and to see people, and it's super cool. So
sure. And even with that, we added in the industry mixer. We have had an industry mixer. We're just trying to, kind of up it each year. And that interesting CJ's Lounge, the Lucky Duck Lounge. So we basically just took every part of the convention and said, how can we make this a little bit better? And I hope we can do that every year. So that is the goal.
Yeah, Bob's on it. Everybody want to play games with Isaac, not Ryan. Nobody wants that. They would actually wait until I went to the restroom.
And then we started a game immediately,
and then they start a game. It was really rude. I come back to the bathroom from the bathroom, and they're like, "Oh, we're already in the first turn.
30 minutes into this game."
I don't
lucky
know.
for you, we have the players wanted signs and the teachers wanted signs. We don't want anyone to ever feel like they're alone. I don't doing anything alone, so
I don't need my friends to accept me. Random people will accept me.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's exactly it.
That's
and those random people become your friends.
Exactly.
You just meet some really neat people that way. Like, well, those guys don't have time for me. What shall I do? And then
actually, that's funny. It was TantrumCon. I think it was TantrumCon 2 years ago, where there's a picture of me setting up a game, and everybody was doing all their different stuff. And I think Chad took a picture because there we go, Chad Elkins in the comments.
Oh man,
if you say the word Chad, he's there. I knew it was going to happen.
Beetlejuice come into the chat.
Oh my gosh, Chad, look at this. It's almost like you're here with me.
So I'm sitting at a table and I'm setting up a game, and everybody's off doing different things. Chad takes a picture of me from across the place. I'm sitting at an empty table by myself, and my head's down like this. He was like, "Sad solo player Ryan." I was like, "Oh, that's so sad."
And you were just basking in that moment where you finally got to be alone and take a sip of water.
Exactly. I was like, "Oh man, this is nice." So.
Ryan, what was different for you? What did you notice as a media, as a consumer?
Yeah, so the space that you guys had at this hotel, the way you guys divided up the space was really cool. And so giving a visual for some of the space, there was the big gameplay room, which can be a little overwhelming at times if like loud noises or people around, or if it gets crowded. There were these separate spots where there were 3 bays that had plenty of tables. They were usually pretty open. And then they had in the middle was the hot games list, where some of the hottest games are being played and taught. You could sign up for those. And then another one that had scheduled events. But it was nice because if you didn't want to be with the vendors, if you didn't want to be in that bigger play area, you could go to a smaller place and just have 4 or 5 people hanging out. And I really like that. I really like that option. And then I saw people that were gaming. You guys did a really good job of putting the prototypes and people who were showing off their games in the hallway. So people walked through and immediately gravitated toward them.
Yeah.
Galactic Cruise was there. Trash Dash was there. You had a lot of different, I think Trash Cult was there. There was a lot of different games out there.
And you had some big names. These are some of those are independent publishers, or Galactic Cruise is that's their first great game. They're new publishers totally, but we had Thunderworks and Wise Wizard Games that just started, Wacky Wizard. So you had still some big names that had just, a table just to try to test a certain game that they wanted more exposure for. So they sneak in there too.
Yeah.
Chad is saying Ryan's the only person who goes to a convention to check solo only games out of the library. That is 100% false.
I can't control you on your own show.
I can't do that, but I did. I was at a convention recently where I saw one person playing games solo by themselves, and I felt so bad I didn't know what to do. And I was like, do I invite them to the game? Or
maybe they just needed that break.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because they were very relaxed.
Yep, so they were probably happy.
Yes.
There are groups of people like on meetup.com where they go, and it's kind of for introverted people, and you go and you talk for a little while, and then you just sit all together and you read your book. So those solo gamers, that gives them an opportunity to feel like they're part of all this, but this is the type of game that they like.
Yeah.
So I think if they're playing it and they're happy and they like being in the environment,
sure.
Yeah, no they could always put up a players wanted sign if they really wanted you to.
If they really wanted to.
Yeah, I think the standout difference for me this year was walking into that vendor hall where, frankly, we spent all of our time last year because it was the combined area and everybody was in there. And I was not in there for long periods because we played most of our stuff over where Ryan was talking, where the hot games and the VIP tables were. But walking in there and seeing not only 25th Century, who had a great setup, but seeing Bezier and seeing all play like you were at a big convention.
Oh yeah.
All play showed.
And all play. We've talked about this on the show. I said all play is hands down the best display in board game.
100%.
Because the way those things pitch up, the way they lure you in, like even if it's tight space, it still just works.
Yes.
And to me, that was one of the standouts I saw, was seeing more vendors who are like, okay, this is important for us to be here to show off our games. And because of that, we're going to talk about a game that made both Ryan and ours list that was like, what the heck, where's this game been all my life? And I wouldn't have played it or got exposed to it had all play not been there.
Exactly.
Good.
So the box, it's called Box One, Neil Patrick Harris. Yes, I've seen that at Target, and I've heard it's actually a really fun puzzle game.
So. Do enjoy Neil Patrick stuff. Oh, Bob, I gotta agree.
Hottest thing in the 25th century booth, Chad Elkins.
Yeah, he was sweating pretty good. Oh, hottest. Oh,
number 2,
hottest.
Nova Roma.
Bro, Nova Roma. That's Stan.
That's good.
Sorry, let's get off of that topic. For someone who has never been to TantrumCon, what should they expect? Like what? And we talked a little bit so far, but like, what's your hook? What's your like? This is why you would love TantrumCon.
I should have the perfect answer for this, but I'm just going to go back to our vision. Our vision was family-friendly board gaming, and we just wanted people to have a vacation, like a really relaxing, fun vacation with, hype it up here, and just the things that you love. We've got that werewolf hallway, social deduction hallway. If you love that, you can live there. Hot games, you could live there. We've got the exhibitor hall. You could spend tons of time there.
Yep.
Just, that's our vision. Family friendly board gaming.
I got to reiterate that that's a place where the entire family feels comfortable. They feel like it's just a fun space. They can get into whatever they want. You guys have a great program for the little ones. I don't have little ones, but I've been very impressed with the way that TantrumCon handles the little gamers in our lives. And
gamers in training.
Yeah, that's right. And so because one of my really good memories a couple of years ago, actually, it's 3 years ago now. Chris Goodlett and their family, the Goodletts, they were at TantrumCon that year, and our whole family was at TantrumCon, and our families just connected, ate dinner together. We just all pitched in and ate dinner out in the lobby and had pizza. It was so much fun, and that's a memory from a convention that's very important to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, they've been super helpful in the kids' room, and Chris always, in any way, whether it's TantrumCon, GAMA, anything. Like, how can I jump in and help out? So we super enjoyed having them at TantrumCon.
Yeah, and I think for me, one of the standout things, and the con starts with the word tantrum. This is a Tantrum House event, and you see everybody that represents Tantrum House present. You don't see them hiding in a spot. You don't see them just playing with their certain group of friends. You know, I saw Will everywhere I looked. I saw Will everywhere I looked. I saw everywhere I looked in the evening. I saw Sarah. You know, I saw the Delps. I saw, like, honestly, the first person to greet me, we walked in, was Larry. Like, and I love getting to see Larry at these things. And I saw, you know, him walking around with his little girl and with his wife, and like this, that just like so locks in this family feel that the convention has, that I would feel super cool and at ease having a child, having a younger kid, if I still had any, at the convention like this. But Tantrum makes this a homey convention, which I have not experienced anywhere else. Like,
I love that.
And that's such a factor.
Speaking of Larry, I got to game with Larry finally. Took me 3 years. So every year I'm like, Larry,
more work.
It was after hours. It was 11 o'clock. So it was 11:30ish. So he was off. So, but yeah, I finally got to play a game with Larry. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we hope that everybody gets to play games. Honestly, I think Katie was the most, and Jonah were the most overworked in tournament meals this year. We went from just 3 a day to 5, like or maybe 4. Like, we had a snack one too. Yeah, we had like an afternoon snack one. So I feel like they were a little overworked. So hopefully we can free them up a little bit more to play more. But we do want everyone to have some play time. We want them to enjoy the convention also.
So, Monica, you are a convention goer as well as a convention builder. What conventions are you going to be at this year?
I'm looking at my calendar on my wall. So, of course, TantrumCon has passed. The next is going to be GAMA Expo in March. So that's March 4th through 7th. Then April is Meeples at Sea Board Game Cruise. May, we've got too much personal stuff, and I also run scrapbooking retreats. So not only am I an event manager, like in the gaming world, but I also have my scrapbooking ladies. Then the family.
I've actually investigated your scrapbooking crew. I'll see a picture show up every once in a while because we're friends on Facebook, and I'm like, that looks really fun. It's just a bunch of people scrapbooking all weekend long, and I'm like, that's pretty relaxing.
So Deirdre Sullivan, who's commenting on here, she is from my scrapbooking ladies.
Nice.
And her and I became friends, and she brought her family on Meeples at Sea cruise. That was their first board gaming event, and I promised her that people would be welcoming and that you can learn some of these games. She calls them newbies. She says, I've learned that board gamers are welcoming to us newbies. I told her there will be plenty of games and people will be glad to teach you. And so that's what they found. The same feeling that I hope that we have at TantrumCon, I try to bring into all my events. I want nicer hotels. I want nice things for all of my events. So that kind of led to the cruises. But yeah, I'll be at Origins also. Game and Party Con in August.
Yeah, that's when that's in Augusta or Savannah?
That is Jacksonville, Florida.
I've actually, because I've looked at that, it's around my daughter's birthday every year, and but it's one that I actually want to travel down and get to go to.
Yeah, we try to bring a similar feel, and I like that my partners from the different conventions also kind of team together. Like Mike from Game and Party Con used to run, or most years he's run 2 Rooms and a Boom at TantrumCon. So people know him as like this fun party game type of person. And that's what Game and Party Con is focused on. You've got the gaming, you've got the party aspect, and we are heavy on party games. And then even with Proto ATL. So Proto ATL will
Yeah,
be coming up today.
can we share some we got scoop information on Proto
Ooh.
ATL.
We got some scoop that nobody knows yet. Like
Big news.
Andy and I are this close. So Andrew Smith is my partner from Gold Seal Games.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I run Proto ATL, which will be happening May 16 through 19. We're this close to putting ink on paper. So that's what we're looking at.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So Proto ATL, you heard it here first. Proto ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, May 16th through 19th. Andrew Smith. Speaking of Andrew Smith, Gold Seal Games has a Kickstarter that launches tomorrow for Forests, which we have a preview up for tonight.
Ooh, that'll be awesome.
Who did that preview, Ron?
That was Bob. Bob wrote a preview, and he did a great job. Thank you.
Good job, Bob.
He's like, that's very condescending. Thank you. So, no, he did a great job previewing. So really,
good job, Bob.
Yep.
Hey, we got Miss Sarah Meadows in the chat.
Yay!
Sarah Meadows
recording their 250th podcast tonight. That's awesome.
Look at that, 250 podcasts.
That's awesome.
You know who will never get to 250 podcasts?
You will
because
not.
I just don't publish them. So
you gotta hit send.
Yeah, I gotta hit send. Gotta hit send. So
after I met Tantrum House, I started listening to their show, and I was like, oh, these guys are pretty funny, and I learned a lot about them and their personalities and everything through that. And they're even to this day still shocked that people will come up and know something about them, and they're like, how do they know? Oh, you mentioned it on the podcast or on a Saturday morning show or something. So
Ryan, I don't know if I told you, I was teaching. So I helped Derek out with Wise Wizard, just teaching some of the new Robot Quest Arena, and I was teaching 4 people, and this guy walks back and he stops in his tracks and he turns and looks at me, and I look at him and I was like, hey, I'm just describing the game. If you're interested, feel free to listen. He goes, Isaac? I said, yeah. He's like, Isaac from Reserve Pool? Now, Reserve Pool is what I used to do before we did Game of Sidekicks when we were all Dice Masters all the time.
Funny.
And he's like, I will never forget that voice. I listened to your podcast. We had 4 active podcasts every week on that. Like, we were streaming content. And he's like, I heard you. I was coming down the hall and I was like, I knew I recognized that voice. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, just the connections you see and you make. And, you said, kind of what they're saying. Sometimes you just don't know what impact you've had when you're putting this stuff out. So
my kids were very, very embarrassed. We were at Dyson Diversions 2 weeks prior to TantrumCon in Atlanta, Georgia, and a guy stops me in the hallway who was like, Ryan, I follow you on Instagram.
Aww.
And my kids were mortified. Like Kendall was just like, oh, that's embarrassing. And I'm like,
you're like, but I'm a star.
No, it's not. It's not embarrassing. That was a cool connection.
Always.
That's right.
I'll never forget the first time at Origins that Gene just shook his head at me when somebody asked me to pose for a picture. And he was like, oh my gosh, your ego's already through the roof. This is not going to help.
Going to be good. So conventions we'll be at. Family will be at. Yep. We went to Dyson Diversions. We went to TantrumCon. We've got Origins coming up in June. We've got Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta. That's going to be in July, and then Bob will be at PAX Unplugged again in December,
and probably Gen Con.
And probably Gen Con. Okay.
Yeah, depends on we're maybes for Gen Con.
Maybes
so
for Gen Con.
Gen Cons are maybe because we work there, work covers, right? So but for sure PAX Unplugged, my favorite convention of the year, and Origins. Love to do GAMA. We got family vacation this year, so we're gonna skip that this year and do it next time. But we got a few lined up. I'm excited to get to check all those out, and it's a full, like, it feels like you want to go to more, but also like these take a bit out of you, right? I mean, they even just as an attendee, they take a bit out of you. So they're fun, but they're exhausting, right? In a good way.
I feel very thankful that I was able to go to 2 conventions in the first month of the year with Dyson Diversions and TantrumCon, but still it was like taking a little bit of time off of work, travel, hotel stay. Like it's like, okay, I'm good. June, I'll see another convention in June. So
Are you really waiting that long? You said you're not going anywhere till Origins?
So yeah, so we've got we wanted to go to GAMA, can't financially make that work. And so we are in the boat of like Origins being the next one. So
okay.
Yep. There's still little conventions that we want to attend here and there. We just have to figure out how to make travel a little less expensive. So
and that's why we super appreciate if you come to any convention, the owners, the managers super appreciate when media does come, because we could give you a badge, but we understand there's still food and hotel and travel, and it's very complimentary to us that you choose to come to our convention.
100%. Yeah, we love it. So Monica, before we get into our pick 5, let's talk about what you do. You wear a lot of hats. You've already talked about the fact that you run a cruise, a gaming cruise. You have Super Scrappers,
right?
Which is convention for scrapbooking.
Yeah.
Tell us about your role with GAMA and kind of what you do with GAMA and what's coming up with GAMA right now.
GAMA, I had heard of a few years ago, and it seemed like it was just like publishers and retailers. I knew that what I did in gaming is significant, like being an event manager and planning events where people do have their vacations and they do get together, and it brings people together to network, whether it's media, publishers, retailers, designers, creators, everybody. So I knew that I had a place in the industry, but I didn't understand why this trade association didn't represent me or other people, such as the media. So GAMA, let's see, I've been a part of GAMA on the board of directors for 2.5 years. The year before I was elected, the board changed so that there's 6 different groups now. So that distributors are recognized, creators of all types are recognized, the media and the events, anybody in gaming has a place in GAMA now, and you have a trade association that can represent you. So when they announced that, I was like, I'll run for the board. I'll help, give back, from what I've learned, and hopefully represent this group of people. So I was the first director elected in the media and events category for directors. So there's 12 of us for 6 different membership groups. So yeah, I serve on the board. GAMA, of course, has GAMA Expo, which is happening in March. And then GAMA also runs Origins in June. So those are the 2 big events. But besides that, it's all about networking and seminars and learning and just hooking people up in the industry with things they need to know or people they need to know.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
That's good. I feel like that's a huge boost to it. When we started One Board Family, so I know, Isaac, your story is that you kind of came from a specific game and you kind of branched out from there. With One Board Family, we started because we had a lot of friends who were like, I want to learn more about board games. And we were always suggesting stuff. And they were like, I like your Instagram post where you review random games. And I was like, oh, that's just me having fun on Instagram. They were like, you should do that. And I was like, okay, because they were taking my game suggestions, they were purchasing them, and then telling me how good it was. And I was like,
nice.
What if we helped families find those games that they could gather around and have really good times with? And so that's where One Board Family started. But we had no voice. I mean, I look back at like the production value that we have now when I do a video review or preview, and then the videos that I was doing in my dining room sitting with my kid, not a single light, like the yellowest of yellow lights.
It's lighting.
Terrible. Yeah, it's awful. And I had no idea how to start or where to go. I'm a web designer by trade. I know how to do that. That's it. So this is huge for people who are trying to get into this industry.
Yeah, I feel like media, you have to love it, because Sarah was actually telling me, she's like, I added up my hours and how much money I make, and it's like $2 to $3 an hour. Like you have to love board gaming and the environment, and to be able to do a media role. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. there's a little money involved with this for me, right? I think Josh, when we were doing our interview, he said it really well, and I've repeated this a few times. I don't know if you heard him say this, Ryan. When we were talking with Zev.
Yeah. Yep.
He said, as content creators, we're pruners in a garden. There's a lot of plants out here, and there's some beautiful things that can get choked up by other stuff. And, I want to help cultivate. I don't want to chop down things.
No.
I want to help cultivate the stuff that I think is beautiful so that people see it. And I want to get excited about things that maybe I can, even for me, sometimes I feel like I'm just trying to get it in the hands of other people that have a bigger voice and say, hey, this party game is amazing. Y'all need to play it. And if the right amount of people are playing it and talking about it, the cream rises. And, it's awesome to see that.
Yeah.
So you deserve to bask in those moments when someone recognizes your voice, or if someone saw your Instagram and your kids are going to be embarrassed. Like, enjoy those moments. You guys deserve that. And, if it makes you smile a little bit, that's great.
It's fun. Yeah. Sure. So tell us about Meeples at Sea. This is something that as our kids get a little older, Aaron and I have actually talked about, we'll be on one of those boats with you. So tell us about Meeples at Sea.
Meeples at Sea, I was hanging out at Dice Tower, and these two ladies, Melissa and Sherry, and invited me to come to their cruise, which was called CruisyCon. And I went on the cruise. I loved it. They needed some help administratively, so they asked me to be their cruise director. So I had a title. So I would do the admin stuff and send out emails and just keep everything organized. After COVID hit, they were no longer interested in doing CruisyCon. I started Meeples at Sea a little bit before that. I came to them actually and said, let's do CruisyCon like 2 or 3 times a year. And they're like, Monica, we've got real jobs. Like, we're out here running companies and doing those sort of things. And I was like, would you mind if I started Meeples at Sea and just didn't compete with CruisyCon? Like, I'll never do it in the spring. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So once COVID hit, neither of them were really excited to go on cruises. So I actually merged CruisyCon with Meeples at Sea. So kind of use some of their resources. So if you go to meeplesatsea.com, it actually redirects to cruisycon.com, which has a better SEO rating, or so smarter people than me tell me.
There you go.
So Meeples at Sea is a board gaming cruise. We don't want more than 100 people. We just want to keep it small. Everybody talks about grow, and I don't think that's always what you have.
It's not it's not always.
So we just keep it at 100 people. And that's the goal, just kind of smaller, more intimate gaming type of cruise. That's awesome. I run it similar to a board gaming convention where we do have some learn to plays. We have some tournaments. We have a few play to win. We have social deduction games at night. Like we did Blood on the Clock Tower, Werewolf, that sort of thing.
Nice.
And you always have the open gaming available. But if you wanted to go do something else, on the cruise ship that day, I always like people to feel included. So if somebody came alone, we have things like group dinners where it's an optional group dinner, but most of us do go to the group dinner together. Even when you go on excursions, we have a Facebook group called Game Cruise Group, super easy to remember. And, we post on there, hey, I'm going to do this excursion. Is anybody else doing that? And then kind of like cool. You have this whole group of friends that you're going to see the Aztec ruins or, something together. But if you just wanted to stay on the ship and play games the whole time, we've got a little board game library. And it's a vacation, relaxing vacation.
So
I call it a floating hotel. Have all you can eat food. You got your hotel there, and you just play all the board games you want.
Yep. Yeah. Our family, we're doing a cruise with our family later this year, just because it makes sense. It's an affordable way to make this happen. So,
and being a kind of a stereotypical role of female, like I feel like when we go on vacations, I have to plot out where we're going to dine, what snacks we're going to bring. Like it is a lot on kind of the mom of the family to plan all these things. So when the cruise, if somebody's like, I'm hungry, you just ate an hour ago, just go to the buffet you feel like you're fine. It just takes such stress off of,
it really does.
The main planner parent in the family.
Sure. That's right. Welcome Kurt over at Smirk and Dagger. Smirk and Dagger was over at at TantrumCon.
Yeah.
They had an awesome booth. They were showing off demos of Tesseract. We've got a copy of Tesseract. I'm really excited to play that with my family. Beautiful production. So
He had
Awesome.
big size Boop. That
oh
was
yeah,
so
Big
cool.
Boop was over there. Yeah, with the giant kitties. That's super cool. So
Oh my gosh, and his table flip. You
I
guys
didn't
have
see
to
his
watch
table
that.
flip.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be on YouTube. I'm sure Will do
I'll
like
look for it.
sort of a clip
Yeah.
flip together of the table flips. So it was
I'm
pretty
gonna
awesome.
have to watch that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So let's talk about the Game Chat presents Pick 5. These are 5 games that we saw or played at TantrumCon that we loved. Okay, Monica, I'm not sure you played 5 games, but we
You
can
saw 5
pretend you
Yeah.
saw 5 games. So let's pretend that you saw played 5 games.
I saw a good amount of games. I did play one game. Jack and I played Agueda.
Boy, though.
Yes,
Agueda's
and it is
good.
so pretty. I have
amazing.
the deluxe edition, the Kickstarter deluxe edition. Yeah, I really enjoyed this game. If you like we'll say kind of pretty games like, you know, the Splendor, Azul, like those
Yeah.
types of feel with
Yeah.
the cool components, a little bit of thinkiness to it. Yeah, that I actually did play. I played 2 games. I played Agueda and Tishu.
Nice. Yeah, Agueda's beautiful. The production value is awesome, and the placement of trying to get your placement right with the umbrellas is so
Yeah.
good. So I think, Isaac, do you want to do our?
Yeah, just do that one first.
Okay, so Couture, both Isaac and I have this on our list.
Ooh.
Couture really surprised us. Like, this
Crazy.
is from All Play Games. We have played this 6 times since I've been home. 5 times.
I've taught this around. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, we played it again last night. Couture's really good. It's a blind bidding game, all about fashion, and it's got really nice sketched out fashion pieces on each of the cards. There's some really good strategy to it. I am terrible at it because I've been beaten 3 times in a row now.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but Couture,
you know
is
the
really
game's good when you still want to play it. Like,
oh,
if
100%.
you keep losing and you're like, I still want to play, and it's not even like a drive thing. It's just like, I really enjoy this. I must play this.
Yeah, I'm getting stomped out every time in a solo.
Yeah.
All right, next up.
I'm going Couture is my first one. So
Okay.
rounds back to Monica. Yep.
Okay, so I have pictures. I have a phone somewhere, unless my son took it. Evan, you have my phone? Dude, bring me my phone. All right.
She's
so
preloading
I had
pictures onto the
all
phone.
planned. You know what? I lied. There was a game there that was shown called Caution Signs by Danielle Reynolds and Scott Brady. So I play tested that a couple months ago when Danielle was at my house. Thank you, sir. Thank you, teenager. So that is actually one of my favorite games to play, and it's not even out on the market. So I'm trying to pull up a picture real quick.
We saw Caution Signs being played at one of the big tables. Yep.
So she was on the VIP table for several games of it. And I think this is one that if you like telestrations or the drawing type of games, like this is going to be one that you can pull out that feels fresh and new. So, and it has like kind of a feel of Just One also.
Okay.
Like it kind of has that feeling too. Like,
that might be a good fit for. I make fun of them. My father-in-law and my dad. The only game that they can agree on 100% is Just One. They'll both play Just One. So
that's kind of good.
Yeah. So maybe Caution Signs is in our future. So
oh my gosh, it is so fun. You have to play it.
Yep. So the next game on my list that I played at TantrumCon, Run. This is a new import from 25th Century Games. This is a cooperative. Your cat venturers. These little cats trying to explore. Yeah, cat Indiana Jones. You're exploring these Egyptian tombs, and the mummies are coming alive, and they want to get to that pharaoh's gold real hard, and so you have to stop them. It's really fun. Once I got through the rules and once I taught it a couple times, like it plays super smooth. It's a lot of fun. It's puzzly, and it actually goes to Kickstarter tomorrow on Tuesday.
Ooh,
so
cool.
Yeah, and Shannon actually sat through the first playthrough of it, where we kind of fumbled through the directions a little bit, but we still had a good time. And then I taught Isaac how to play it after understanding the rules.
Yep.
So,
yeah, we had a good time with that one.
Yep.
Nice.
Mine I got to teach to Ryan, and then immediately came back for my big Thursday night game night and taught to my friends who thoroughly enjoyed it. It was Expeditions.
Really good.
Well, it's a big box. The new version of Scythe. Not
Wow.
Scythe, but in the world of Scythe.
Yeah.
Card engine builder. A little bit of exploration. Great game. Taught it some guys Thursday who all thoroughly enjoyed it. So. And that was a really fun playthrough. I enjoyed doing
that. Thank you for teaching that, because that was on my pile of despair. So.
All right, number 3.
So yeah, I didn't play this game at TantrumCon, but it's one that I played recently. I learned it at PAX. It was on their kind of hot games area.
Okay.
So Footprints is the name of that one. It's not showing up very well. Footprints.
Okay.
So that was a super fun game.
Nice. Who do you know who published it?
Let's see.
I think Isaac's pulling it up.
Yep.
Board Game Geek.
Go.
Let's visit that site.
Chill Fox Games, it says.
Okay. Footprints. Interesting.
Yes. So it's a really unique game. The tiles are already there. It feels tile placement-ish, but you put the tiles kind of randomly out, so every game's a little bit different, and you can slide across ice, you can do all these different areas, but you're kind of resource management, and there's just several ways to get points. So it's pretty thinky. People can kind of block your way, and you have to rethink, recalculating route to do different things. You can build ruins. I love the games where where there's several different ways to win and several different ways to score, and you can still affect somebody if they're seeming to run away with the game.
Nice.
So that was one that it was just on kind of their hot games area. My friend Joe Chambers from Atlanta, like any game he recommends, I always want to play it.
100%. Shout out to
do you know him?
Joe,
yes, I love Joe.
So awesome.
Joe comes down to my house 2 or 3 times a year. He'll message me. He'll be like, "What are you doing this Sunday?" I'm like, "Nothing. Joe, come see me and hang out.
Teach me something."
It's so fun.
Yeah,
I love it when Joe comes.
Yeah, so that's a Joe game. So now you really want to play it, right?
If Joe says it's good, I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm going to play it." So
we're playing it. Yep.
Yeah. So next up, Planetfall for me. Planetfall was a game. You've got a copy of it right there. Bob has our copy. That's not how you show game boxes. Have you never done this before?
Going off of my phone show.
Yeah. Age of Wonders Planetfall. This one's so much fun. It's based off a video game. I've never played the video game. The game it reminds me a lot of It's a Wonderful World. It's just pure card drafting. You're just trying to do the best you can using those resources. It's really good, really smooth, and plays in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick play.
It's great
game. Really enjoyed it. It was a big surprise. Bree told us on our last show, take it, play it, you'll love it.
Yep.
Bree, you were right.
Bree, 100% right.
Took it, played it, love it, taught it to a bunch of people. Grant, I know, played it and really loved it.
Grant put it as his number 1 game that he played at TantrumCon, and we were the ones who taught him that.
And there is a mat for it. That's correct. Derek just recently got
I heard about that.
Gorgeous.
We have not seen the mat. Bree Goldman.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down because we love It's a Wonderful World.
I would love a mat.
Yes.
Yeah, so for me, I'm just thinking about this game, so I got distracted. This was mine. Speaking of a Joe game, we kind of move around and teach games to each other, right? And we asked Joe, would you please teach Bob and Derek and I? And at 3 a.m., we learned how to play the White Castle.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
From
I wish you would have compared notes.
Really, really enjoyed it. Beautiful game, beautiful style, beautiful art. Joe taught it great. Even at 3 a.m., everybody was like clicking with it.
Yeah.
And It's a great game.
I played it during the daylight hours. And
No,
I enjoyed it.
that's for chumps.
So, yeah. It's for losers. So, is this on your list also, Monica?
Oh, well, I'll
There
tag
we
you right in.
go.
Go ahead and start talking about it.
The
Yeah.
White Castle.
I'll tag you in.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
So I moved from South Carolina up to Virginia because I got engaged. So I moved up here last summer, and we found a really good game group up here. So the White Castle was one that our Joe equivalent in my game group had taught us. I agree with Isaac. There's just so much there. And again, going back to my preference of many different ways to score, many different ways to win. I just feel like this has a lot of replayability because you could go heavier in this one area, or you could go heavier in this area. And so that is also on my list of a game that I played recently that I love.
Awesome. My next one is going to be Beast. This was on my pile of despair. I got this for Christmas. Not really that much despair. I got this for Christmas. My wife surprised me with a copy of Beast because this was my most anticipated game of Origins, but I never got to play it.
Origins 2018.
What now?
Origins 2018.
It came out last year. But thankfully, the folks over at LTN, thank you. Love thy nerd, folks. So Matt and Luke knew the basics of the game. And between me, Matt, and Luke, we kind of stumbled through the rules. But we played it. We played 4-player game with Alexis. Had a really great time. It is definitely a game that I want to play over and over. I'm really excited about teaching it. So.
Does it have like cool minis or anything? It's a thick box, so I kind of want to see some Beast something.
Yeah, so there's not cool minis, and actually, I think I found a way around that. We have copies of Destiny. I have a copy of Destinies, and the miniatures in Destinies are really small, and I feel like they would fit on the map really well because it's kind of a condensed map. It's a huge board, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think the minis from Destinies, because they're kind of generic, it's like guy with a sword,
it'd work.
Person with a crossbow. I feel like it's going to work. So I think that's going to happen. So.
Love it. Right. Number 4 for me is pulled up. This is the first 2025 game I got to play, rightfully so, from 25th Century. This is one of my new con friends is getting to meet Andrew at this convention, and already knowing Josh, and but getting to hang out with him, play Wine Cellar, his newest game that Chad will be putting out in 2025. It was a ton of fun, very simple, very easy, very thematic, very much you could tell as a sommelier himself, he was excited about a game about wine with different pairings and smells and taste from the specific wines and the regions, and you could tell he was all in on this game. And paired with a good wine and cheese plate, this game is going to make its way into some easy game night conversations.
It's really cool game.
I saw it. It looks really neat, and I love the theme. Who doesn't love?
And Vincent Dutray art, like forget it, like amazing.
Yeah, Shannon's right. The details on the cards are really good. Very detailed card art. You've got like little tokens almost on the bottles of wine. It's well done. So,
and Sarah commented that it plays 8 players. So good. I feel like sometimes when you're at your board game club for the month or the week, your group, sometimes you do have that random like 7 people or something. Yeah. You're like, whoa, I guess we play 7 Wonders, or like there's just not like a lot of choices. So that's kind of exciting.
It is. And it plays smooth at 8 players.
It does.
Because it doesn't take any extra time. Everybody's taking simultaneous turns. So. And then, so your last one, number 5, Monica.
All right. So I finally, after a year and a half, maybe 2 years of trying to play this game from when it was basically on paper, it is Galactic Cruise.
So good.
I just have loved the theme. I've been following the game from, like I said, inception to when they just had these little pieces. I met these guys at SFGE. Several years ago. and they came to Proto ATL and perfected it a little bit more and met Dennis there, and he joined the team. And just like, I love how they involve, like, we'll say the audience, attendees, to follow the game and like, hey, we're doing meeples. Which design do you guys think are better?
Yeah.
What color scheme do you think is better? Like, they've just been awesome and having, like, making people feel like they're part of the game. And I finally sat down and learned it. So I think it's
That's
beautiful.
so
I
good.
think it's a solid game, and I can't wait to back it. That's coming up on Kickstarter soon.
March 4th.
March, yeah.
March 4th. Yep. Back that thing March 4th. It's going to be good.
They have the price tiers come out today.
Pricing tiers came out today. $89 for the lowest tier.
Oh, I saw that.
Totally
way less
worth
than
it.
I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm getting kicks. I'm getting big pieces. Like, I want all
Oh
the
yeah.
stuff. I want
I
all the
will,
shiny pieces.
I will check with my wife to make sure that we are good to get the big version.
That's the way I look at
You
it.
can do
Josh, it's been good seeing you in the show, man.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us.
Yay! Hi, Josh.
So my last one is NAR. I don't have
so good.
NAR is very good. Pandasaurus Games put this one out. Viking, very cool Viking themed game. There's a lot of like, you're collecting sets, you're collecting these different things, and I don't know. I just really like the tug and pull of the whole setup where you're spending things that you really need in order to advance the game. And you have this way of pushing the game forward through these different actions. And so it's the first 1 to 40 wins, and you've got a track that goes around. It's really, really cool. So
yeah, art's great on it. No,
competitive up to four. I think it's up
to four. Yeah, so it's very much a gain things to spend them, things to spend them, but when and how you do it very much it reminds me of Res Arcana, where you cannot just sit back and make this grand plan. It is a go, and who goes the fastest will win this game.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I love this compared to Res Arcana.
Yeah.
Res Arcana, I'm like, it's fine. It's a game. I'll play it.
But the same style of like, you've got to be, you can't sit, like, I'm a sit back on my laurels and make plans. This is a game you just got to like, you got to rush for the end because it's the first person to reach a certain point total.
Yep.
So it's a rush move. So as always, I do switch games. So I'm going to go with a game that I was introduced of a local friend who has a very old copy. It has been remade and rehashed and republished, and this is their most recent edition from our friends over at Eagle Griffin Games. This is Sid Saxon's I'm the Boss. I'm the Boss is a aggressive game on the table. It is a don't make friends or don't keep friends kind of game. And actually Daryl shared with us a story about friends who moved out after playing this game.
Was horrible.
Oh my God.
Just crazy. But this is a game that is a very much take that around the table. You're trying to make deals. You're trying to stop people from making deals. You've got to go in with a certain mindset. It is a game to play maybe once and then put it away in the box. And so it's a fun, combative game. If you like take that and you like backstabbing around the table, I'm the Boss is a great game for a convention. That's our 5.
All right. That's good. It's good stuff. So you and I, Isaac, our wives had birthdays this past weekend.
Oh yeah, yep. The third.
Our wives have the same birthday. So
they do. Yes.
My wife got this game Coffee Rush from Korea Board Games. Played it the other day. This is what we've been playing.
Nice.
It's good. It's good. It's a little bit stressful because your coffee orders start coming in based on the completion of other people's coffee orders.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so when the people before you complete coffee orders, you have more people lining up at your store. And
interesting.
If people are playing well, it means you're going to get pounded. And it's interesting. So
how long
stressful.
does the game take?
30 minutes. It's very simple mechanics, but there's this pile-on effect that just kind of, you're like, uh-oh, this is not looking good.
Right.
So
so we most recently been playing fun times. I taught my wife apiary this last weekend.
Yep.
And then I also taught her a game that is high up on my quick playlist. Seas on Paper. Love it. It's 4 players. It's Pandasaurus currently. They brought it in.
Mhm.
And man, this is just like, this is my go-to small box game right now.
It's our date night
love
game.
it.
That's
Oh,
been
it's
the one
great.
for
And it plays super
months.
smooth at 2 players too.
Yes.
Threw open the purse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Because
love
with
the art. I
single
love
line.
the style. Like I love that it's just origami on cards, right? Like
Yep.
you can't beat that. So
Yep. Monica, what have you been playing?
Jack has beat me 5 times in a row with the Halloween version of Boop. The Boop.
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Dude, I'm so frustrated. I was looking forward to Nicole and
Oh,
Scott
man.
Brady coming to TantrumCon,
Yeah,
and I was going to
nice.
schedule like an hour for them to give me all the tips on how I
There
could
we
beat
go.
them.
Yeah.
And now I have to wait. Like they, unfortunately, some bad weather hit up in Chicago, so they couldn't get down to TantrumCon. But man, they were supposed to give me all those pointers. So we've been playing that. We have a Moonrakers night coming up. We've invited friends over. That's one of Jack's favorite. What else have we been playing? I feel like TantrumCon drained half of my brain cells, but
Yeah.
Those are a couple that we've been playing, and I got to beat him.
That's
funny.
Very cool. Well, you guys, if you haven't already, check out Meeples at Sea. Go on a cruise with Monica and Jack. Hang out with them. It'll be a lot of fun. And if you're in the Atlanta area and you are designing a board game or just want to assist in development of board games, Proto ATL. I hear it's amazing. And so you want to check that out. So
hey, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep. Becky and Jason interested in sold on Meeples at Sea for 2025.
Yay,
What?
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, do it.
Cruise plus gaming, what's better?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're testing Boop the Halls at night during the show. What?
What is
yes,
that?
There's a Christmas version.
What?
Yes.
Is that this tear one?
I didn't know if it was secret or not, so I was like,
oh, I want to play it.
Say anything.
Look at all these things we're breaking around. Boop the Halls.
Man, look at this. Boop the Halls got that scoop on the game chat. So
hey Ryan,
now I have Christmas music in my head.
Oh jeez. That's a rough.
I'm gonna write a song. Boop the halls with halls of cats.
Jumping on a tree and knocking one off. Amazing.
You can find us at One Board Family all over Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, all the stuff.
ICQ.
We have a lot of stuff dropping today. We've got 4 Forests preview that just came out. We just published our preview for Run. We've got a full video preview for Cookie Champion from Eagle Griffin Games on our YouTube channel that goes live tomorrow morning. We've got Skyrockets from Floodgate Games that goes tomorrow. It's a busy week at One Board Family.
Yeah, I guess so. That's awesome.
I think, you've actually, hit the upload button. So,
I'm hitting the upload.
Look at all this stuff that's going out there. So that's great.
Imagine if you put the podcast out too.
I'm going to surprise you one day, and it's going to see, we've already passed your birthday, so I can't do that. I'm not going to wait another year.
You can find us at Game of Sidekicks on Instagram, VX, Facebook, TikTok, where we do a lot of our content. We just put out a quick hello and unboxing for some of these new games from 25th Century. I'll also have a recap of another Kickstarter coming up, a trifecta from our friends over at Pencil First Games.
Oh, nice.
And they have a new game and then 2 small box games, and they made Floriferous Pocket Size Edition, which I'm super excited about. One of my wife and I's favorite games. And
Floriferous is one of our favorites. It's so good.
And we just kicked a review for, what did I kick yesterday? Oh, The Perfect Wave from the Op.
Yes. Yeah. Very cool.
We're wrapped.
That'll do it. Monica, thank you so much for hanging out with us and staying late and chilling. Thank you so much. So you guys have a great week and get some games on that table. All right.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.